Video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission. All rights reserved.
Okay, if somebody could talk.
We can
Thank you.
talk.
So we've got a bit of a different setup this evening. People, you can look at the stream if you wish. So I've got all of us down in the bottom, just in the Zoom call. And then we got the tokens above us. And then on the right of us all, I've got the character sheet, but also the rules as well. And this is a momentous occasion because I can actually share with everybody on stream the rules because they are totally and utterly free. And anybody can go and download the rules for Classic Fantasy Imperative. They're absolutely free of charge. You can download the PDF for it. If you do want a printed copy, then you can either pay for a printed copy, or you can actually take the PDF to your work and try to smuggle it through on the photocopier where nobody else is looking. Hello, Marky Mark. It's lovely to see you. Hope you're looking good and feeling fine. So tonight we're at, some people call it like session 0, but we're going to call it character generation. That's what we're going to call it. And we're going to work through and create our characters. And the players have already decided roughly what class they're playing tonight and their race. Okay, so as a point of a starting point, I just thought if you could just say who you are and what class and race you are going. And Captain Kangaroo, you're not going to call your character Shrek, are you? Please.
No, because I just don't want the copyright infringement problems.
Please.
DreamWorks has a really hefty legal team, so I'm just gonna. Nah.
So it's Freck instead.
Yeah.
It's Freck, yes.
So, Captain, let's start with you. Tell us who you are and the class and the race you'll be playing.
I'm Captain Kangaroo. That's who I am. And then tonight I'll be playing a half orc fighter
who looks extremely stoic, and I don't know whether or not you noticed, but I removed one of your eyes.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, now he doesn't have blue eyes, so take away his features.
He is totally and utterly blind now. Excellent. So half orc fighter. Yeah, who are you going to pass it on to?
I'll pass the microphone off to Tiggity Tex.
Yeah, I'm Tiggity Tex. I will be playing a wizard elf.
Nice.
An elf wizard.
With long flowing locks by the looks of things.
Yeah, very flamboyant looking fella.
Reminded me of what was your character called in Spelljammer, Mr. Pickles?
Jennifer Evans?
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Red hair. But hopefully not the smell of campfires. Yeah. And Tex, who are you going to pass it on to?
I'll pass it on to Medevac.
And I fumble for a chip or a hi all, I'm Medevac, and tonight I shall be playing Ida, and she is an elf cleric.
Fantastic.
She's also a cover because you can call it Ida Down.
Well, was it Ida Macduff in the Mythras, or was it Ica Macduff?
It was Ica, wasn't it? Ica Macduff.
I don't even know my own characters, I tell you.
The guy with the maps.
No, she
was...
The
character I played.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got introduced as a priestess.
Yeah, Ica Macduff, yeah. And then you created Bartleby after playing for a while. She actually came in. I think her father got killed.
Yep.
If I'm right.
Crossbow bolt.
Say again, sorry.
There's a crossbow bolt while we watched. I think at the end of the adventure there.
That's it. Yeah.
So cool.
I remember that. I don't know whether or not you might not have been with us at that point, Medivac, were you?
I wasn't. No, not for the very first
No.
one.
Yeah. So it was the one that Raf was in as well.
Yes, he pulled me in at that point and was like,
yeah.
"You want to join this game?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Hey, good news.
Excellent. And
I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Pickles.
Oh yeah, I got picked. Would have been funnier if he just passed it on to Inwills, but anyways, I'm going to be playing a gnome rogue for no specific reason, and I am Mr. Pickles. That was out of order, and I will pass to Inwills now that I fumbled my own task.
Thank you very much. Are you called Belinda Bell? Mr.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Belle as because her eyes are big or something, and so everybody just calls her Belle.
Sounds good. And the captain's character could be the Beast, and you can be Belle, and we could have aspects of Disney.
I'll be Cogsworth.
So, yeah, as we go through.
Does that mean I have to learn dancing for my character?
Yeah,
I don't know, Gaston.
no.
Body dancing.
Should be
Is that a
fun.
professional skill or classic skill? I can't. I need to-
Should be fun. Okay, so we're going to go through the character generation. So you've got the rules, and then what we'll do every now and again, I'll let you decide what you're going to do, and I'll put them up on the screen, etc., etc. So I've got a character sheet up as well, but also I'll put the rules up. Okay, then. So the first thing I need to tell you about, you need to go to your class page. Okay, so find wherever your class is. And just to let you know, if you're in Adobe Acrobat or whatever, the whole book is bookmarked. So if you call it your bookmark, you can jump directly to each of the sections. It's all done very well. So unlike Mithras, classic fantasy has ranks, and ranks are basically levels. Okay, now in your actual character class, you will have some class skills. Okay, and those class skills are really important because in order to be rank 1, okay, because that's what we want to be. We want to be rank 1 when we start the actual adventure. Then you need to have a certain number of them at 40% or above. Okay, so I think it's 5, but if somebody's there before me, 5.
Mine is 5.
Yeah, 5. Any 5 class skills at 40%. Okay, so you need to sort of like aim for that. So as you create your character, keep an eye on your class skills and think, oh, right, where am I going to put the points in order to ensure that I'm at 40 in 5 of them? And it could be any 5. If you don't manage that, you are actually at rank 0. And we don't really want that at all. We want you to be at rank 1. So you can actually start lower and move up. But we don't want that. The other thing that you might notice in your character area that you have ranked abilities. Okay, now these ranked abilities are really, really important because you can actually use experience rolls when you level to gain those. Okay, so you don't start with them. What you do is that you gain your experience points and then you can actually start to gain those ranked abilities. However, you will find on your character sheet something called starting abilities. So you automatically get those. So I'm just looking at the moment at the clerics sheet. And you notice that clerics can turn undead, they have starting spells, and they can spell cast. However, as they gain levels, they could use an experience roll and gain something called Holy Smite. and that requires a devotion and willpower of 50% or higher, and then you can increase your damage grade against undead, demons, devils, etc., etc. So those are the two first things to think about. Your class skills, because we want 5 of them 40 or above. You'll have starting abilities, so have a look at those to see whether or not you require any specific role for them. So if you do need a role, say you need willpower, then that's also something that you might want to put your points into. The other thing to bear in mind is that the races are not exactly the same as D&D. Okay, there are some subtle differences. So the things like half orcs, you get dark vision, and I think gnomes you get dark vision. I think elves, I think you get, is it something?
Called like precision sight or something
Yeah,
like that.
That's it. It's something like precision sight, that you get better, whatchamacallit, sharp vision. That's it. Due to your acute visual acuity, elves find all perception rolls to spot something 1 grade easier. You also can wear light armor. Nothing more than restrictive than light armor find stealth tests 1 grade easier. So do have a look at them. You'll also notice that you have passions already set up. Okay, so you have to choose an alignment and the passion. Okay, so for example, I'm on the gnome one, and it says, sorry, the half-elf one. We don't have any half-elf. They have passions for raised as an elf, and typically 1 or 2 of the following. And then you have raised as humans from another list. So everything sort of like is linked in with your race and your class. It's interesting that mages, magic users who are gnomes, tend to be illusionists, which is really interesting because in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons first edition, that's what the only demi-human race that could be an illusionist was a gnome, and that was it. So keep all those in mind and feel free to alter things as we go along. The other thing that you will notice is that some of your abilities do not increase, in the sense that if you look at your action points are very much like M-space. So you get a standard amount, okay? Your characteristics won't improve that. However, as you go up ranks, you gain more action points, and you also gain hit points to each of your hit point location. So for some other reason, and don't ask me to justify this because I can't, all of a sudden you might start with 4 in your head, you go up a level and that's 5, and then that's 6, etc., etc. Okay, so let's start with some characteristics. So these are your strength, dexterity, etc., etc. And there's a number of ways to do these, including random rolls, etc. But we're going to go for, if you turn to page 7, we're going to go for the points build. And the reason I'm going to do this is because we've already thought about our classes. Okay, so we're going to use it. And this is the same as what we use in Mithras and M-Space and any other game that we do. So it's slightly different because if you remember in Mithras, you just get a whole chunk and then that's it. So you actually begin with your racial average for the 7 characteristics. Okay, so whatever your racial average is for your characteristics, you start there. You then get to spend, if you are human, you get to spend 10 points, but all of you are demi-human, so you get to choose to spend 6 points. Okay, you may also lower characteristics to gain extra points. So you can actually lower, say, it says your strength down to 9, from 11 down to 9. 11's the average to get 2 points. Okay. However, characteristics cannot go lower than the minimum possible or greater than the maximum possible. So you can't go below, 3, and you can't go above 18. Okay. That's the rule of it. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Where do
Probably
we
will
find
once you
our
get started.
our racial average? Where's that located?
Good.
So that's page 6.
Page 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, very bottom.
And it's in the parentheses, the average on all of them. So that's our average to start from, and then we have 6 points to go to put in ones we would prefer to go up higher in.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah. So you have 6 points, but remember you can decrease points in order to get more points if you wish. So say, for example, if I was playing a dwarf, I start with strength 16. Okay, so I would have 6 points. But if I sort of like think, oh, 16 is a little bit too high, I'll reduce that to 14. Then instead of 6 points, I've now got 8 points that I can put elsewhere. Okay, so you can go
gotcha.
up and down as much as you want. And then you can busy yourself doing that. As you're doing that, I'm just going to talk to the stream because you already know this. So just to remind everyone, if you want to follow along with these rules, you can do. The whole rule set that we're playing, Mithras Classic Fantasy Imperative, is a free download. It's completely free, and it's part of the Orc license. So you can actually use it to create your own adventures, your own modules, etc., etc. There are certain things that you're not allowed to mention, and you're not allowed to create or anything like that. And so it mentions everything about the Orc license at the front here. I'm just showing you that now on stream. And so there's loads of things that you can sort of like create anything that you wish. So the Orc license replaces the OCL license, I think. So you can do that. There are certain things that are reserved and you cannot do anything. And I would just like to highlight 2 of them. If you see there, if you could read it, you're not allowed to say anything about Inwill's Isle or Inwill's the Sage. Those are actually copyrighted, and those are my island and my character that actually lives in Greymore, which is the classic world fantasy. The other thing that you can do if you wish, this is just the basic PDF, so you only get 4 classes. You get clerics, magic users, fighters, and rogues. However, there is, if I can get it out, there is a, at this F01, there is a full version of Classic Fantasy. And in that book, it's a lot thicker. You can get things like rangers, druids, bards, monks. They're all in that full version. And that is not free. You need to pay for that. The other thing that is coming out pretty soon is the Classic Fantasy Companion that allows you to go up higher ranks. So in the basic book, you get up to rank 5, which is, I think, is the equivalent to sort of like level 20 or something like that. Yes, Marky Mark, I have my own island. Rodney Leary, who is the line manager for here, Rodney Leary, you can see here, he gave me my own island, which is absolutely fantastic. I am honored. Honored. So, okay, how are we doing, folks?
Are we putting these figures in the base or in the current?
Let me just bring up my. You should put it into the.
You've got off. I can't hear you. Is it me?
He's completely muted. It's
He's
not just
muted.
my internet.
All right, it's not me then.
Yeah, because I see you talking, but I don't hear you talking.
Do charades.
How many words?
Elf.
0 words.
Marky Mark, can you hear the stream as well?
I can't hear Inwells.
But can you see us?
I promise, Inwells, this isn't my hacking. I haven't hacked the system.
I don't believe you.
I wouldn't either.
That's my job. I'm not that smart.
All right.
Oh, it's serious. It's going to. So it's just in Wills you can't hear. That's fine. So you hear the stream fine. Well, that's all we need, really.
Ba-dum-bum.
I feel like it, like
Can you hear
his
now?
wire just like came loose from
Oh.
where it's plugged in,
Hmm.
and I
That's
bet
why I
you
checked.
it's like,
First thing I do is check mine because mine does that.
yeah, it's,
Oh, can you hear something there?
Can you hear me now?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
For some unknown reason, my big microphone has stopped working. But I'm on my one that's higher up now.
What's that for?
Take it up higher. I
So-
want to see the boss.
Is this one that I use for podcasting? Because if I use my big mic for podcasting, there is a high pitch sound that only young people can hear.
Got it.
I've never heard it.
And
Yeah, honestly, honestly.
that's one of what I've heard all the time. My young ears.
So people on Discord were saying, "What's the high pitched sound that we can hear?" And other people were saying, "What sound? There isn't any sound." And so when I looked at the sort of like the waveform, there's a high frequency whine that is there. Am I loud or too soft or anything?
You,
Do I
Yeah,
sound
good.
all right? I'll just see. Is that better, Marky Mark? And we'll see. Okay. So they probably missed all of that. I don't know when it clicked out. I was on a roll as well. How are we doing, folks? Have we?
It's a characteristics base or current, and you about to tell me which one it was, and you went off.
Right. It goes into your base.
Base, brilliant. I'll
And
swap
then
those
your
over.
current should match it. But if I say
Oh.
cast a reduce strength on you, then you would change your current.
Current, yeah.
And that would change everything like your damage adjustment. Thank you, Marky Mark. I am back. I don't know what happened with the other microphone. The advantage of having two. And then we're going to move on to skills when everybody is ready.
Oh, that's weird. I've changed my base, and my current's gone up.
Let me have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm coming into your character sheet. Right. Oh, why is your current gone to 13?
I know, it's weird. It's added 1, and same with the size has gone down to 9.
Oh, and let me just check that you're on.
Yeah, that's weird too. On mine.
But I do have 4 action points, so in your face game.
It's nice.
That's because your dexterity is 23. And your power's 23.
Yeah. They are supposed to be 17, but when I put the 17 in the base, it changed that to 23. So just change it back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine is
so you can
size.
I'm just
12.
so you can actually go back and change the current.
So, oh, you've done those ones, right?
Yeah, and then that should be absolutely fine. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So your next one is so we're basically going through Mithras character generation, but we don't have culture points. We actually have racial points. So your racial points are the same as your cultures. And if you were playing a human, playing a human, then you could be a barbarian, nomad, civilized, etc., just as normal. Now, it's up to you how you want to do this. If you notice on page 11, I don't think we should do this because I think you know the rules. But if you were new to these rules, then I would definitely use the table that's on page 11. Because basically this is saying to you, okay, then if you are a dwarf, add points like this. Okay, and this actually gives you a good base to your character without actually knowing the game. Okay, and so you can make them up, and then once you're familiar with the game, you could then make a new character or change them or whatever. But I suggest we don't do that, and you will all agree. And so we're going to go to what the system we normally use, which is the racial skill point buy. Okay, so you actually can select, and this is when you have to be careful. You can select 3 professional skills from the options offered. Okay, so in your race, if you go to your race thing, it'll give you some standard skills and some professional skills. So you can select 3 professional skills, okay, from the selection, and then you can distribute 100 points among the listed standard skills and chosen professional skills, increasing that skill by 1% for every point you're improving on it. Okay, so you've got 100 points. Players are free to choose how much each skill is improved by, but each skill must receive a minimum of 5% and cannot get more than 15%. Okay, now this is going to be really important because if you remember, your 5 of your class skills have to be 40% or above. So if you think about it, this is your first 15%. You've then got your class one, which should take it up to 30, and then you need to find another 10 points to get it up to 40. Okay, so it does say here, distribute 100 points among the listed standard skills. Okay, so basically what it's saying is that you've got to do it among them all. Now, we've never played that. Okay, it says the same in Mithras, but what we've always done is pick the ones that we want to work on. Okay, the reason we do that is that it saves people saying, well, I put 15 in the 3 professional ones and then divide the rest between the standard. Okay, which I don't like. So you can choose to put points in some of the standard skills, but you don't have to. But remember, it has to be 5%. That's the minimum you can put in a skill, and 15% is the top. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Yeah.
So wait, so 3 professional skills, and then that goes from 5 to 15%.
Yeah.
And what was with the class?
So you, what I'm saying is that keep an eye on your class skills, okay? Because you need to get 5 of them above 40% or 40%. So you've got race. This is your racial points that you're putting in, and then you're going to have some more point for your class. So
just keep an eye on those skills so you know. It's a bit like, you know, when we create Mithras characters and we sort of like think, oh, I can put combat skill in there, but I can't put it in there. So you sort of like adjust things. So keep an eye on that. You don't need to worry about your class skill points yet, just your racial points. Oh, somebody's rolling a die.
Oh, that. I was trying to figure out how to put the points in, but we're putting other now, aren't we?
No, you put it in the end. You put it in the
Oh, right, you
final.
physically alter it at the very
Yeah.
end. Right, yes.
And then
That's
that
just
will
improved.
change your other so you can have a running total.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, or put it in the, like, physically put it in the box? Or...
Yeah, in the end one, you know, where your actual score is,
Okay.
and the
Got
other
it.
will adjust automatically.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know. I was sort of like trying to think about the different races and whether or not they sort of like go towards certain things, you know, whether or not there's a bit of stereotyping coming in. Oh, by the way, do check because you've got some free skills, but that's quite common. We're aware of that. So like your language and your dwarves get language and custom and things like that. So you get those for free. You don't need to pay for those at all. I haven't looked at the little gnome yet. Do you get anything nice?
I get customs plus 40. I get language common plus 40 and language gnome plus 40.
Nice. Oh, and you're like dwarfs, aren't you? So you have magic resist, poison resist, and tunnel sense.
Oh yeah, I do have magic resistance and poison resistance.
Yeah. And
glug glug glug.
And you are literate, which is totally unlike the half orc. But the half orc. And I think you also get dark vision. Yeah. You actually get dark vision. But you're between 4'4" and 4'7", so a bit like Cyrus.
I think I'm a little bit taller than Cyrus, actually.
Yeah, just slightly. And what I was going to pop in the chat, I was going to.
I disconnected there for some reason.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back now. We can hear you.
My interwebs was being silly.
Oh, you haven't gained it from
I gave it to him.
the pickles, have you?
It's contagious.
I had to get rid of the
It's
curse
awesome.
somehow.
So I've put the link to the PDF for everyone in the Discord, in the chat as well. So if you're streaming and you want to follow along and have a look, then by all means have a look at it. Just out of interest, there is a word copy of the rules as well, which is really, I never thought about this, and it was only when I was talking to Rodney and Lawrence about it, in the sense that there's a word copy, so you can actually cut and paste into other documents, because of course it doesn't cut and paste very well from PDFs. So you actually get a word copy as well, or you can get it, which I think is fantastic. Elves are resistant to sleep and charm, aren't they? Which is the same as Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Is it the same as 5e as well? Everybody's busy.
I don't remember.
I don't even know.
Wait, what was the question?
Do the elves are resistant to sleep and charm, which it was.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the same as Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition. Exactly the same.
Yeah, elves and half elves get that.
Yeah. Find will. Well, it says resistance, but then they're actually, you find willpower rolls to resist 2 grades easier, which is very nice. So that'll be very easy when it happens.
So The 100 points I
Yeah.
can put into standard skills and professional skills.
You have to choose 3 professional skills.
Okay.
So you choose 3 professional from your race, and you can put those points in those 3. So you can't put them
Okay.
in all. You just pick 3, and that's it.
And then when I
That's
like
really
lore
important.
and craft, do I just make up what I'm
Yeah.
crafting
So
and
yeah. So if there's any lore or craft items, it has to be specific. So you can have craft swords, craft chainmail, craft poisons, or something like that. It can't be like craft armor. It has to be specific, the type of armor you're writing. And the same, so lore can be, I think Bartleby has lore monsters.
Yes.
So it can be anything that, it's a bit like a knowledge skill. That's how I see lore, like a knowledge skill.
yeah, it's just hard when there's no like specifics for me to go off of.
Yeah, you have to use your
I have to
imagination.
guess.
So
Could I do craft weaponsmith?
you would need to say craft a weapon type. So you could say craft swords, or craft daggers, or craft bows. If you do craft bows, you get bows and arrows. If you
You can
don't
do the bows, but not the arrows.
Yeah. The other thing is, if you sort of like think, oh, it's going to be difficult to decide on one of these, then don't take that as your professional skill. You know,
Where do I put my weapon, my combat skill on the sheet?
on the character sheet,
Oh, found it.
yeah.
Sorry, found it.
it's where just above professional now.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I do like lore magic runes and craft magic scrolls.
Yeah, you can have both of those. There won't be an opportunity to do either of those in the adventure to
then
start
maybe
off
I
with.
don't do
Yeah.
that.
Mainly because the rules that we're playing don't have that level. So there are crafting rules in Mythras and Classic Fantasy, but not to that degree here. It's quite nice, the crafting rules, because you can get exceptional weapons and things like that, which is really nice. Spells are like they're D&D spells, but they're Mythras points. So you roll your, I think clerics get something called, what's your skill called, clerics? Channel and devotion. So, which is similar to theists. Oh no, they get devotion, but they don't get channel, I don't think. Oh no, you get exhort, don't you, Mr. Pickle?
Exhorts what theists get.
Yeah. Channeling, I think, do animists get channel? I'm not too sure.
I thought those sorcerers that get the channeling.
Oh, they might do. No, they get invocation and shaping.
Shaping, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, it's animists.
No, they get meditation and binding.
Maybe
Maybe-
channeling there as well, because it's
Maybe it's mystics. Isn't it fantastic? We played this game for God knows how long. We have no idea what some of the spells do.
well, that's it. I mean, what you play your character, don't you? You don't think about what else there's out there. So,
I know. And do you know, it's interesting. When Captain became a sorcerer, I had to read the sorcerer rules because I never touched them because Chuggerwugger just read them inside out and knew what he was doing. So
Mhm.
I just left it. So I had to actually read the rules beforehand. I don't know much about the the theists either. I just trust Mr. Pickles. He could say anything
Right.
he wanted.
So
Just be convincing. Pickles.
Good to know.
yeah.
for the class skills, it's 5 to 15%.
No, we're not on
100 points.
we're not on class skills yet. We're just doing race skills.
I mean, the race skills.
Yeah. So you have 100 points,
Oh,
and you choose 3 professional, and then you can use your 100 points between those, minimum 5, maximum 15. Yeah.
So I can only do a maximum of 15%.
Yeah.
I've literally just done 100 points on my class skill quick tips on those because
Well-
I didn't scroll up to page, because page 11 on mine, I'm going, oh, page 11, but it's not the one
Well,
above, isn't it?
then, if you only have 3 though, then the max you can have is 45% of the 100 points, right?
Say again, sorry.
Then you can only use 45 out of the 100 points if they can be a max of 15%.
On your professional skills, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
But you have your
save the rest,
standards as
can't you?
well.
And possibly
Oh, I used the 100
Bonus
on the
skills?
standard. I thought it was just a professional point.
No, you've got to use them on your standard as well.
Well, that
What's
changes.
in here? Conceal, influence, insight, local.
So is it possible that we could be starting this game? Oh no, I just saw the numbers. Never mind. I was just gonna say, is it possible to start rank 2 based on how you do things? Because I'm already at rank 1 in the race process.
Yeah, so there are the rules that you can. How you got skills 40 plus?
Because I put 15 points. Like stealth is one of the skills that I need, or is
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my class skills. And so I made sure that intelligence and dexterity are 2 of my highest.
Are your
characteristics.
highest ones? Yeah, got you.
So 18 plus 15 plus 15
Yeah,
in the 40s.
So actually, to let me, if you go,
I think you need to get 70s in order to be at the second rank. So
to get the next rank, you need 5 skills at 70% or above.
I don't think we'd be able to get there in character creation.
No.
Yeah.
Because the maximum you can add is 45. Well,
Yeah.
no, actually, you can add more than that because you can add it in your race points, and then you can add it again, 15 again in your. No, that will be 45. Yeah, your race, your class, and your bonus. Yeah. But yeah, go for it. If you can get 70s, then we can up the ranks, and then you get +1 action points, +1 luck points, and +1 hit points at rank 2.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I
kinda
don't
looking
want to.
for it.
I don't want to outpace what you wrote as the adventure or show off something that you don't want to show off. And I also don't want to be like, one of us is rank 2, but everybody else is rank 1, because gnomes just love mechanisms and being stealthy, and that really benefited me.
To be honest with you, I'm trying to use the monsters in this book. Okay, so my choices are, Bandit is my lowest one. And then my highest one is a young adult red dragon, which is rank 10. So, we might go there.
Okay. Let's do a red dragon.
That actually has a combat skill of 100% and does 3d6s plus 1d6 damage on a cone of fire. How cool is that?
That's just a little bit better than a shotgun.
Exactly, just a little bit. There is another. I think there's only a red dragon. Yeah. So don't everybody be going and looking at the monsters to think what you're going to arrive at, and think, oh, it must be a bandit rank 1, because I have been devious. So be warned.
You're always devious.
Always. Okay, so how are things going?
I'm done.
I'm getting there.
I'm done with racial skills.
I'm due mine again because
Oh yes, because you did the wrong one. So
Yeah.
that's thing. So I think there's something that might not be going right on your sheets, because I've noticed that your action points are zooming up. And on page 7, it just says starting characters begin with 2 action points, but gain more as they rise in ranks. So we might have to, I might have to just check to make sure that has anybody got more than 2 to start off with?
Yes.
I've got 3.
Okay, then.
I only got 2.
I had 3.
So
But that
I can
takes away
change
the power of dexterity in regards to both action points.
yeah, it
I
does.
guess.
And it's the same as, exactly the same as M space. It's
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, M space, everybody has 2. And classic fantasy, what it does is that as you gain levels, you then gain action points. Okay, so that's how it sort of like alters it. Let me, if you notice that your character sheet's changing, I'm just messing about on the settings because it'll suddenly go back to 2 as I change it in the actual settings. The nice thing about it that, yeah, you do start with 2, but as you go up ranks, so there's a real I do like motivation to sort of like increase ranks. And I also love the idea of those rank skills that you actually gain some of more better skills just from going up the by buying and using your whatchamacallits, your experience rolls.
I don't have to put a point in everything that's on there, do I?
No.
No.
Good.
The captains is down set as 2.
Got 10 more points to spend.
Ooh.
Oh, I know what to do. Oh, let's do that.
First aid.
That's not on the list, sadly. You're all going to die. Oh, no, that was to be 10, not 15. Okay, done.
Okay.
Keep wanting to click save, but there's no save button.
There's no save button at all. Okay, so now we're going on to class skills. So we've done array skills, so we're now going on to class skills. And this, again, on page 12, there's sort of like a quick pick table that you can look at and just use that. However, we are not going to do that. We are going to do the point buy system, which is on the same page, but in the right-hand column. Okay, so again, you look at your class skills now. That's what you're looking at. You can select up to 3 skills from your professional skills available for that class. So exactly the same as race, but you don't have to pick the same 3. Okay, it's completely up to you. And you're going to distribute your 100 points, okay, among the class standard skills and whatever professional skills you've chosen. Okay, and just as always, you can have, it says increase in skill for 1% for every point you spend on the improvement, but no individual skill can receive more than 15%. Some classes grant more than 3 professional skills, but never more points. Okay, so if your class actually says you can have more than 3 professional skills, then let me know.
This guy.
You do. Excellent.
Yep.
Okay.
I do as well.
Excellent. So all classes, so this applies to all of you, possess 1 prerequisite skill which serves as the defining skill for that class. All characters receive a +10 bonus in this skill. Okay. The character must possess this skill at the noted skill level to advance, and it counts as one of the advancement skills for later on. So if you look at your classes, you should have a prerequisite skill identified there, yeah?
Oh, is that that's on the
It should be. Let me just go to.
It says I automatically receive arcane casting and arcane knowledge. Is that what that's talking about?
Yes. So no, hang on. Let me just go to the cleric.
I don't see anything about prerequisite skill.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
Which I'm not saying it makes sense for their.
I think if I look on the clerics, clerics get clerical oath 30% plus character's intelligence and power.
Oh,
and
so
that's a
you, like your
professional
guild
skill,
oath.
is it?
Say again, sorry.
So that's a professional skill.
Yeah, and that you get that. You don't need to pay anything for that. Let's have a look at fighters.
Yeah.
Fighters don't. You don't gain any. Okay, but you do get a +5 bonus from your combat proficiency.
Mhm.
And unarmed. Who's next? Magic users. It doesn't look like
magic. It just says automatically receives arcane casting and arcane knowledge +3 skills from the following.
Yes, so that's what it's talking about. So those are, so you automatically receive arcane casting and arcane knowledge, okay, and then you add another 3. So you're going to be quite limited. For you either get culture, language, law, alchemy, or law any other thing. What does the rogues get?
Well, it says in my alignment oath requirements, Thieves Guild oath. But in the professional skills, it says I automatically receive lockpicking and mechanisms. I'm not sure which is what.
So you get both of those. Both of those are the skills that you automatically have. So it's basically saying that if you have a rogue, the rogue will be able to do lockpicking and mechanisms, if that makes sense, because they automatically receive that skill. So you will receive that skill at the basic amount, okay, for the professional skill level, because there'll be 2 like characteristics, and then you can add to it later. You also get Thieves' Cant as well.
Yes, because I do want to be part of the Thieves Guild.
Yeah.
If I can take that option. I just don't know if I have to spend more to gain that. Or...
No, so your ranks are assumed that you're part of an order. Okay. So fighters are part of a fighter guild, rogues are part of a thieves guild, etc., if that makes sense. So, well, in Mithras, you join an order. In classic fantasy, you are in the order to start off with. And if you note, I don't know if you noticed, but the ranking 0, 1, 2, 3 is the same as the progression in Mithras for going up levels in that. Thank you to Cuba Larry who's just subscribed. I really do appreciate that.
What would I put for culture? Like, is that where I put barbarian or nomad or something?
Is it like is it a skill or it's just assumed that you're an elf, aren't you? So it's just assumed that you know elven culture. So if I took you to the forest that Galadriel lives in, then you would know how to behave and what to do there, etc. And
that's assumed without taking the skill, or is that with taking the skill?
It depends whether or not you gain it automatically or not.
Okay.
What does it say?
Oh, it's automatically receives this plus 3 additional skills from the following.
Yeah, so you can do.
I automatically get 3 of those.
So you gain arcane casting and arcane knowledge, then you get 3 of the others. So you could actually choose to have, due to your background, you might sort of like say that you've been brought up by gnomes.
and in which case you can have culture gnomes,
Gotcha.
you know, or culture urban cities or something that you, or tribal warriors or something like that.
So I'm just trying to find what attributes my devotion and channel are going to be.
It should be in, because I haven't. What are they? Sorry, what you're looking for?
Channel. Oh, it's power times 2. No, it's not power
Channel
times 2.
is intelligence and charisma.
Oh, fantastic. And
What's the other one?
that's why charisma is a good starting. Right. Okay. The other one is devotion.
Devotion is power and charisma. So if you want to know what your basic sort of like stats are, the professional skills start on page 47.
Yeah, I've just found mine. And when it says on my cleric bit, it says I need the opposite of what I've chosen.
So arcane casting text is intelligence and power.
Okay.
And then arcane knowledge is intelligence twice.
Sorry, my screen just turned off. I'll be there in a second.
No worries.
Oh no, it's stealth, isn't it? It's a professional skills. Right, acting.
Your thieves can't. Is that how you say it? Thieves can't? Or
Yeah.
That's probably, yeah, I think that's how you say it.
rather than thieves can't.
Yeah, it's can't.
What can't they do then?
Exactly. It's intelligence and charisma.
The law
Yes,
is-
it told me dexterity, intelligence, and charisma are the 3 things you need to be a proper rogue. And I said, can do.
There you go, see?
oh,
I'm just hoping that the half-orc fighter has taken seduction.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Enjoy.
page
It
25.
made me laugh when I was reading it because it says it uses explicit signals, verbal and non-verbal, to elicit a sexually positive response. And then underneath it says seduction may take hours, days, weeks in order to be successful. And I thought, right, that's going to take some time. Has a rogue got streetwise?
I am not taking that for the first time.
Ooh,
What?
I take that with every character I have, and I want to be a different kind of rogue than the stereotype.
Nice. I think that's good. I think that is well worth it.
I think I'm going for a slightly more charismatic rogue than the typical sneaky stabby. I mean, yes, those, but also
emo type.
Yeah, I'm not going for the emo rogue or whatnot.
I'm just misunderstood.
Yeah, I'm understood completely.
Nice.
What I'm good at is mechanical things and breaking locks and getting into places. I'm not as good at finding street drugs.
Got you. So no street drugs.
I'm sort of more of a noble, like the kind of rogue that would join an adventuring party to sneak into a tomb because there's certainly good gold there. That kind of thing.
Got you. I understand
Not
completely.
Street rogue.
I picked up like languages of the enemies of elves. So would I say like culture related to goblins be like?
It's completely up to you. That's absolutely. If you do, I have goblins?
Yeah, maybe that's not a good one to pick.
Hang on, let me just see if I have the stats for goblins.
There
Yes, I
might be a
do.
chance we might come back to these. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I do have goblins. I have goblins, orcs, and kobolds. I love kobolds. They were always my favorite, sort of like cannon fodder in D&D kobolds. Because aren't they like dog-like? I'm sure they're very
They're
much.
just kind of like reptile dog.
Yeah.
Like, the head shape is sort of doggish.
Yes. And wasn't there a race in Star Wars that is very similar? Is it the Bothans? I'm sure both ends are like dog-like. Pretty positive about that. How's class points coming along?
Working
Got
on
70
it.
left.
I am done with class points.
One thing that I forgot to look up is how they do combat skills, combat styles.
So I can
So-
another 15 to my willpower then. So that's good.
I may have read ahead on this one, but fighter. So it says this on page 30 for
30.
fighter.
Yeah.
It says their combat skill includes the use of all basic and martial weapons.
Oh, yes, that's what it does. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
It's like weapon proficiency in
Mhm.
D&D. So you just sort of like have various things that are in your combat style. That's it. I remember now. Yeah.
But the thing, so I can use all the weapons in my combat style, but I get a +5 when I use weapon specialization on a specific weapon.
Nice. So you will actually say,
Yeah, and
yeah.
there's a few different bits of weapons, a few different things I can use on it. So like with melee weapons, I get the +5%, but also I get a free parry. I get a bonus parry.
Oh,
wielding the weapon,
nice. Nice.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Range weapon. If I gotta use a range weapon instead, that's like you get a whole bunch of benefits, like including being able to shoot before intimidation or not initiative is even rolled.
Nice.
Which is cool, but you know it's still a ranged weapon. And then shields,
Yeah.
you get a +10 if you chose weapon specialization for a shield. You get a +10 to your roll.
Yeah, and I noticed then you also will you then can actually all shields count as one size category larger
Yeah.
for the use of, which is very similar to Bartleby's shield thing.
Mhm.
The mage, unfortunately, the mage, it says they are not typically trained in combat, therefore mage combat skill can only be developed as a bonus skill, which is coming up next. It includes the use of daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows, which is exactly the same as Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Apart from light crossbows was added later on. Hi Zal, how you doing? We're busy creating characters for the new adventure. This is free rules, people. If you want to go and have a look, you can download it completely free of charge, and there you can go and do it. Yes. Did you want something, Medevac? Or
No, I think I'm done now.
Oh,
I'm
that's
done as well.
My second 100 done.
excellent.
Again.
So the next thing that we do have one more sort of like role to do because we now have the bonus skill. So this in Mithras, if you remember, is like a hobby skill. Okay, so at this stage, you gain an additional free pool of skill points. Okay, that you can distribute. It's actually based on experience. So if you were, Mr. Pickles, you said you might be second level, you would get more experience, more bonus skills at this point. But hopefully everybody's going to be at first. Okay, so what happens is that you get 100 points to use, another 100 points, with a limit of assigning no more than 10 points per skill. Okay, so beforehand you could do a maximum of 15 points. This time you can only do 10. Okay. Then it says about if you are experienced, which you're not. Okay, so your bonus points can be used in the following. You have the option of choosing one final professional skill for free. And this is classed as your personal hobby or interest. So this is any professional skill that you want. So this is a point that you could literally say, oh, I'm an actor, I need an acting skill, which is a professional skill, and therefore you could put 10 points in it, because remember, 10's the maximum. Alternatively, you may add a new weapon type to your combat skill, okay, or gain 1 if you're a mage, okay. You can add plus 10 bonus to 10 different skills or distribute points among them, increasing each skill by 1 point, okay? However, no individual skill can receive more points than indicated by their level, and that is 10 points, okay? So you can't put all 100 points into one skill. Okay, you have to, the maximum you can use is 10. So you can gain another professional skill, okay, that a free one. You can gain a combat style and a weapon and put that in it, or you can just add it onto 10 different skills that you've got. Okay, it's completely up to you what you use it on. You can either use it to increase existing skills or buy completely new skills. It's completely up to you. Just to let you know, if you were in level 5, rank 2, you would gain 300 points, so forth and so on. But you're just rank 1, so you literally get 100 points, and that is completely up to you how you use it. Enjoy. And
So
then,
one free one for 10 points.
yeah. That might not be in your class or race, so it can be anything that you wish. So
I've gone for healing. That would be,
yeah, that's absolutely fine.
I was going to go intimidation, but I thought no.
Maybe you can use healing as intimidation.
That's true. It's just a small needle.
Yeah. If you don't let me know what I need to know, you are not being healed. Okay, I know you still might be thinking about that, but just while you're on that sort of like idea, we've got alignments and passions to go yet, but don't worry about that at the moment. The other thing that you should have at the end of your character, your class list, is that you should have your starting equipment. Okay, your starting equipment. Now, just if you remember when we play Mithras, the encumbrance system is quite difficult. It automatically does it. However, encumbrance in this game is quite simple. So you can carry a number of things up to your strength. Okay, so whatever your strength characteristic is, you can carry that number of things. However, not everything is one thing. Some of them sort of like is more, some you can carry more than one thing. So, but it's up to your strength, and you can't go over that. So, for example, one thing is a quiver of 20 arrows. Okay, carry with no additional weight. So you carry the quiver and the arrows. Something like a single-handed melee weapon or buckler is sort of like one thing, but two-handed weapons are two things. A spell book is one thing. Basic toolkit, if you're, it's on page 53 that I'm reading it from. It says basic toolkit, hammer, chisel, fire stake, spikes, and so on, or rogue's toolkit is one thing. And then it sort of like says a full water skin, etc., etc. If there's anything else that we need to do, so on your class, it says in brackets, it says on clerics, for example, it says mace. Well, that's one thing, and then it says heater's shield counts as two things, and that's what it's talking about. And then it tells you your armor that you're carrying. So clerics get a full set of scale armor, 4 armor points everywhere, 0 things when worn, 7 things if carried. So if you've got it on, then that's it. You can go into halves. For example, the holy symbol is half a thing, and you can see a backpack there has 5.5 things in as well. But every class at the end should have their weapons. They should have their equipment that you actually have with you, and that's, you don't need to spend any cash or anything like that on those. That's it. So you can fill that into your you should have your equipment area that you can get and start to use.
Go back to his free skill. I've done all the rest. I'm just want to double check I've done this right.
Yeah.
So healing would just be int plus power. If I put 10 points into that, that would come off the 100 total, wouldn't it? Or do I get a free 10? Right.
Yeah.
That's fine then. Yeah.
Yeah. So you always get the basic ones, the
Yeah.
basic characteristics.
And then I've added 10
yeah.
points to it, and that's fine. Yeah.
Mage and cleric, it'd be a good idea at this point to notice your spells that you can have. So on your table, it'll say things like rank 0 intelligence divided by 4 and rank 1 intelligence divided by 4, or something similar to that. So make sure because you'll need that in a moment. Is Mr. Pickle still there? He's been a sneaky thief and been very quiet.
I'm not. Yeah. Well, I'm also very deceptive. So.
Wow.
It's a crazy world I'm living in over here.
I can imagine. What is thieves' cant then? Is it like hand signals and winks and things like that?
Well, yeah, it's partially nonverbal, but I like to imagine it has some similarities to like Carney speak, where there's some words that don't actually mean what you mean for them to mean, and the people who know the language go, "Oh, that means you're in on the game. You get what we're doing." And yes, of course, you can pass by Mr. Merchant Man. You go into the tent, and then you're not like a snitch.
Got ya.
Or you're a good snitch for the group, I imagine. I don't know.
It's interesting that the rogue's ability reminds me of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition, like hiding shadows was always, something in D&D, but then sneak attack is actually in D&D 5th edition, isn't it? But I don't think this is the same. The rogue may attempt to neutralize a victim from an advantageous position if armed with a small or medium melee weapon. So it's not like sneak attack in D&D, because I noticed the attacker may ignore any negative damage modifier. The special effects bypass armor and maximum damage do not require a critical success, because normally they're crits. So if you do a sneak attack, then you can use both of those as normal specials, which would be, because the other thing that I was thinking about it is that if you do that, you're automatically going to get a special because the person doesn't know you're there.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking people down, I guess.
Yeah, so, and I thought, wow, max damage. But it's interesting that you could do it with a ranged weapon as well, within 30 feet, which I thought was excellent. And
I
then,
mean, that's the stereotype with a crossbow is like you aim for a little bit and then sneak attack.
yeah. And the other thing, do you remember the thief? You have to be my age to remember the thief acrobat from D&D with Advanced
The
Dungeons and
cartoon?
Dragons. No, well, yes. So the cartoon had an acrobat in it, but that was actually an Advanced Dungeons and Dragons class. Came out with Unearthed Arcana, and I noticed that this has it because it has things like vaulting in its ranked abilities, which is literally straight from acrobatics, thief acrobats, which is good.
There's a thief acrobat in 3rd edition, I'm pretty sure.
Is there?
I was just pulling out my book here to see. Yes, thief acrobat, complete adventurer. It's one of the prestige classes you can pick.
Oh,
and
nice.
The image is of a nice little character, not being blurry. There.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, it's a person on a tight wire. But
Oh, yeah. That is so interesting. Hang on a minute.
yeah, pretty much like that.
Yeah. But it's got one of my favorite pictures ever. Where there's a thief acrobat pole vaulting out the way of something, but I'm not too sure where it actually is now. I thought it was in this book. This book is so old. It's actually yellow pages. It's actually got you won't be able to see it. It's actually yellow. The pages are yellow, and it smells as well. Oh, I wish I knew where that picture was. It was a really good picture as well. I loved it. How's everyone doing? Are we?
I'm just putting in my my equipment.
Equipment, cool.
Yeah.
Now, just to let you
Thanks for equipment. Sorry.
go for it.
I was starting the equipment at the bottom of my thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I start with all of that, do I?
yeah, you get all of those. If you want the stats for your weapons, they start on page 55.
Yeah.
So that's where and that tells you your combat effects there as well. Remember, that's not the only ones that you can do, but those are the major ones, the main ones for it. There's quite a nice list. It always makes me interested. What is a military pick? It's just-
It's-
and then there's a military pick heavy.
So it's like a hammer, but with a pick at the end.
Right.
yeah, it's meant to penetrate armor.
Oh yeah, because it can sunder, but it hit location. There's a halberd and a pole axe, and then a pike is something different, which is interesting.
Yeah, halberd's got typically has a bladed side to it, and then a pike is literally just a long spear.
That's interesting because one of the specials that a halberd or poleaxe can do is entangle.
Yeah, it's got a hook on the bottom of the halberd, so you'll be able to hook somebody's feet.
I see. Nice. And then it has rapier and saber and scimitar. And I was so I tell you who would know the difference with those.
Longshanks.
Longshanks, because he's a fencer, not as in somebody who puts up fences, but somebody who actually fences. The difference between there, and there's a whip if anybody wants that as well. So I didn't know whether or not the little gnome rogue might have a whip up her sleeve.
I kind of wanted a sickle, but
Do you want to know? So the first ever D&D 5th edition I had, Big Beastie played a gnome warrior, a gnome fighter, and he fought with twin sickles. And I remember somebody coming into the game and saying to him, why are you fighting with those? You should have these because they're the maximum damage you can actually do. These are the best weapons to have if you're doing that. And he just said, no, I just want to fight with sickles because I like them. And I just thought,
Exactly.
Cool.
yeah,
exactly.
I just thought that what a brilliant, none of this
Well,
mixed
that's the
match.
difference.
Yeah.
No, that's the difference between role players and power players in a sense. You know,
Yes,
the
yeah.
meta who build the best they can.
There was a lot of that with races. Even in MMOs, it still exists, don't they? They
Oh,
say
God, yeah.
the best race to be is this race. And that, of course, is not the only race you can be. So in 1 minute, we're going to have a break, people. So you could go stretch legs, grab a drink. And then when we come back, we're going to do alignments, passions, and then finish off with spells. So you'll all get to know about spells, even if you don't cast any. So hard luck. You're just going to have to listen.
Can I just say I found a spelling error in the book?
Have you?
Yes, armor is spelled A-R-M-O-R.
Oh, good grief! And it's more than once as well. How did that get?
I've actually found a actual like real mess up on the fighter area.
On the fighter, have you?
Like a real, yeah. So
You're
it
very
says weapon
robotic at the
specialization,
moment. Yeah.
and they just all they did is copy and pasted. Oh, sorry. I'll probably move my computer closer to the Wi-Fi.
Weapon.
On the fighter area, it says weapon specialization on on the rank 1 area,
Yeah.
and it's literally copy and pasted of weapon precision.
Oh.
They're not the same thing. It's weapon precision and weapon specialization are supposed to be two different things, but they're exactly the same definition, and that's definitely not correct.
Oh.
Weapon specialization is that
Oh,
you know,
I see.
special plus
yeah.
5%.
I see what you mean now. Yeah. On the rank 1, it's just exactly the same. The 2 is exactly the same. I've noticed another spelling error, Medivac. They keep putting Z in specialization.
Oh, no.
I've seen a lot of
Instead of
missing
Z.
spaces.
Yeah, sorry, yes, yeah, that's true. Z. I'm going to report all this back to Rodney, just so you know. And anybody who said anything negative, you're not getting yourself your own island now. I tell you. There's only me.
How dare you find that?
And just out of interest, that is not a reserved item if I want to create something for it. So if I actually want to use these rules to make my own island and Sage, it's not reserved. He said that to me, which is nice. Corrupted English again. Completely true, Zal. Completely true. Okay, we are going to head off and stretch our legs, grab a drink, etc., etc., and then we'll be back to finish off character generation. We've got alignments, passions, and spells to do, and that's it. So please go off, stretch your legs, grab something to eat and drink, and we'll be back at 1:45. Okay, we'll see you back here.
So our starting equipment we don't pay for, do we?
Correct. You just
That's good.
get those no matter what.
So heater shield is damage 1d4. We're loving that.
It's so interesting, the similarity, because classic fantasy came before Mithras. So classic fantasy was created and then Mithras evolved from there. So when you see things like hit locations, that came to classic fantasy and then Mithras evolved from it, which is interesting. Well, I think it is in any case. So
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Can I buy like a studded
Free
leather
locations.
hat? Like I can afford it and it's light armor, so that wouldn't like interfere with anything.
Yeah.
I just figure I'm a gnome. I'm gonna get bopped on the head as many times as we make Cyrus as a short character jokes. Yeah.
There was a is there a Elden Ring character that wears a cooking pot on his head? Does anybody play Elden Ring?
Yeah, there's a famous let me add her or something like that, where it's this guy holding like two katanas. He's wearing a loincloth
Yeah.
and a cauldron on his head. Those are literally items that you can equip in the game, and he does like a jump and then a butt stomp or something like that.
Nice.
But it's like a specific style, that he's able to beat bosses with.
Nice.
Like most people deck themselves out in all sorts of armor, but he found that not wearing armor allows him to roll around better.
'Cause
So
I saw somebody dressed up at it as a cosplay, but I don't know if you remember Mr. Pickles and Medivac. Tex and Captain weren't playing when Gulliver was around, but Gulliver actually used to have a cooking pot
The helmet, yeah.
that he
Yep.
could put onto his head, and that's I was wondering which came first, one or the other. So hopefully I'll get my COVID jab. If not, I'll be starting to wear my mask again, I think. And then as we get closer and closer to on Monday, I will be stood in front of 151 students, and lecture theatres are tiered. So I'm sort of like down there. They're just sort of like breathing down on me. It's just I hate it because it gives me a crick in the neck, because you're not meant to look at them. You're just meant to go to your lectern and speak into the microphone. But I like to look around and sort of like make sure they're doing what they should be doing. Okay, let's start. Do you think Captain's coming back or not?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I'll start talking about alignment, and then he can catch up when. Movement. Oh, he's got something blue there. I don't know what that was. That looked exciting.
It was very blue.
Okay. We'll wait till he's got his headphones on. Soon be Christmas, Medivac. You're going to love that.
I know. Tell me about it. Look, it's here. Christmas is here.
Busy, busy, busy.
Oh,
Okay.
already busy.
So alignment is on page 41. And basically, your alignment is made up of two codes. You have your ethical code and your moral code. Okay. So for your ethical code, you can choose between lawful, neutral, or chaotic. And your base level of that is intelligent plus your power plus 30%. Now, do check out your character class to see whether or not there's any restrictions on alignment or anything like that. So on page 41, it gives you, if you decide to go lawful, it says choose one or two defining elements that best describes your ethical code. Okay, so if you went lawful, you would have as a professional skill or passion, lawful, and then in brackets, you might have no sense of humor. So it's a little bit more than I only follow rules or laws. They've sort of like expanded it slightly, so you can really sort of like add things to your character. So you will have a basic ethical code, which is lawful, neutral, or chaotic. So you'll choose one of those things from lawful, or one of those things from neutral, or one or two of those things from chaotic. Okay, so that's the ethical code. You don't let me talk about moral code, and then you can get on with that. So the moral code is the good, neutral, or evil. Okay, so it's the second part of the alignment idea. This again is intelligence plus power plus 30%. And you choose either good, neutral, or evil. And then it says under good, for example, it says choose one or two defining elements that best describe you. So you could be optimistic if you're good, or you can be a vegetarian because vegetarians are good. If you're evil, you can have things like meat eater and things like that. And cannibalism is in there in evil as well, and greedy and things like that. So you should have two alignments. It'll say lawful in brackets or in notes or something, the other bit, and then it's always intelligence plus power plus 30%, and that will be your starting alignment.
And
So-
where does that go on the sheet? Or is it specific?
Passions.
Oh, it's in passion.
Actions, yeah, it's classed as a passion. Just to let you know, you can go true neutral. So if you go onto the top of the next page, it has true neutral. I don't know whether or not it still exists, but in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, all druids had to be pure neutral. And I quite like it because it says strives for balance, which I quite like that idea of striving for balance all the time. So I don't think anybody's got any in the main book. Things like rangers and paladins have alignment restrictions, and so you have to be lawful, or you have to be this one, so forth and so. Do rogues have anything?
Trying to look through that. I was reading through my my gnomish background options for those and for like those different codes. But
yeah, you're not restricted.
Yeah, not restricted.
Is that a true neutral cleric may choose either good or evil deities along with those of neutral disposition if desired.
Yeah. So with your I haven't made up a whole campaign world, Medivac, so just pick a god.
Pick a god. I follow the god of Bob.
Yes. And they're sort of like their greater, you sort of like their what they command, etc. If you want any ideas, if you look on the Mithras, on the Mithras World Anvil site, I've got a whole load of gods there that you can have a look at if need be. So yeah, so you should have now your alignment. Remember,
sorry, just 1 second. When you do the passion,
Yeah.
how can we add the? Oh, we just total it up in our head and put it.
yeah.
On the end. Sorry, that's amazing.
You can use my fingers if you
Fingers.
wish.
Oh, I never even thought. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay then. So the next thing that we go on to is passions. Sorry, some of you might have oaths, and you will automatically have that. So like a cleric oath is 30% plus intelligence and power, which is a type of passion. So you might have oaths already without sort of like going into creating your own passions. If you go back to your race, okay, your race, do check there, because races have restriction on alignment. Okay, so you might have to change it. Sorry. For example, dwarves, any but typically lawful good. Okay, so, and it actually gives you some ideas about your alignment in your character, in your race, which I quite like, because it's sort of like saying, you know, these groups of people are generally. So generally, I think it's for most of them, it says any, but typically. Okay. And you don't have to be typical if you don't want to. The other thing in your races are your starting passions. Okay. And initially it tends to say any, but then it says typically one or two of the following. Okay. And that's what we're going to go on. So in your passions, it will say typically one or two of. Okay. And that's what you're going to choose as your starting passions. So it's up to you. You can have one or you can have two. So something like a cleric who has your clerical oath, you might only then pick one passion because you've already got one with your oath. But generally look back on there. So I think gnomes are typically neutral good. Okay. Yes. You know, but you can choose something else if you want to, but you know, it's up to you. And then gnomes typically have two of the following: loyalty to clan, love of something materialistic, so loves metalwork, and then hate something, typically kobolds and goblins. Now remember, this could be something really important because, say for example, as a gnome, Mr. Pickles, you say hate kobolds, okay? Then when you attack a kobold, you will actually use your passion to augment that roll, because you will attack more fiercely in that. So it can be something that really sort of like fits into your character. So do have a look at them. And I don't think any half orc, Mr. Captain, I think has whether or not you're raised by orcs or raised by humans. If he's there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have raised by humans.
Ooh. So you can go further back. If you go further back, there's the barbarian nomad civilization. That's where it says choose from the appropriate human list.
Yeah, I chose barbarian.
Nice. I didn't know whether or not you were going to love a friend or romantic lover or something like that.
Or familiar connection.
If you were raised by orcs, you can have love a friend or something like that, which is nice. So just out of interest, say, for example, in that situation, if you had a passion to love your friend and your friend was in danger and you tried to help them, then I would augment your role with that passion. And just to let you know, if you're interested in your starting, your characteristics, if you look on page 42, up at the top, there is a table that says the object of your passion. So, for example, if your passion is to do with a place, your characteristics and power and intelligence. If it's something to do with a race or species, it's power times 2. If you can't think which one it goes in, just pick one. It's just sort of like your starting skill, and then that's it.
Oh, because it says your first skill you pick at 40. We're ignoring that, are we?
Say again, sorry.
It says here, pick 3 passions and 2 characteristics, bonus of plus 40 to the first, plus 30 to the second. Plus
So
you do power plus power, then plus 40 on top of that.
Exactly. So
Fantastic.
so that bit is just what I was coming to. But thank you. Page 42. Once you've got your passions and you've got your characteristics assigned to them, then you get bonuses on top of your characteristics. So basically, you can have up to 3 passions. Okay, so that's the maximum that you have. And then what you do, you have bonuses of plus 40, plus 30, and plus 20. So if you've got 2 passions, you just have plus 40 and plus 30. So you can add those on. And it's completely up to you. If you got 3, then you add 40, 30, 20. It's completely up to you, but it allows you to have that little bit of a boost for augmenting and things like that. So it gives you that, but it means that they're not basically just your characteristics and then that's it.
So I have, I don't know if I've done this correctly. I have 4 passions. Then.
Okay.
My Thieves Guild oath that I got, and it gave me a plus 30 on it.
So that's normal. That's fine. You don't need to worry about take that out of the reckoning. So do you have 3 other passions then?
The ethical code, moral code are 2, and then
Those,
I have
right. So that's your alignment. Your moral and ethical code is your alignment. So what passion do you have?
I took the gnome passion, a love for metal coins.
Okay, then. So that will be a love of an object or substance. So your starting will be power times 2. So it'd be power and power. But because you've only got 1, you'll just add 40 to it. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have to? I feel like I missed. We can take up to 2 passions.
Yeah. So if you look in your race,
Yeah, that's where I was drawing from.
Yeah. So does it say up to 2 in the gnomes?
It did say 1 or 2, and I guess I wasn't sure if my Thieves Guild oath counts as one of my passions.
No, that's an oath.
Gotcha.
So you get alignment, which is ethical and moral code. You get oaths, and then you get passions. So you could have loyalty to clan or hate kobolds, if you wish.
I
Could,
hate goblins.
Or
Could
you
a passion? I do as could a passion be peaceful retirement? Like wanting to just like
Be a farmer.
stop the bloodshed and be a farmer somewhere, but need the money in order to gain that.
Okay, then. So that would have a huge impact on the game. So, for example, if you came across going on an adventure, then that passion for friendly retirement would be a negative augmentation to any role. Because when somebody's saying, come and defeat this wizard, you're saying, no, really, I just want to retire. You know, and then when say people are negotiating with you, you'll be saying, no, I just want to be a shopkeeper. That's it. So you're likely to get left behind. I hate to tell you this.
Well, okay, so
the other thing is
the character. Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing is your description. It does say they are warlike by nature and have no interest in the more refined of pursuits.
The way I wanted to play it is that the only reason he wants to retire is because he was raised as human and wants to be like his grandfather, who was just a human.
So what?
But at the same time, he's naturally chaotic and naturally like very like.
So
very violent.
What you need to decide upon, therefore, is whether or not that is just a personality trait. So just how you role play the half orc, or whether or not you want it to impact on the game, in which case it becomes a negative passion.
Got it. No, I don't want to impact the game. I just use it as
you can just complain all the time. I just want to, for the first combat, and everybody said, fighter, head in. Nah, I think give it a miss this time, and then that's it.
Yeah, odds are a bit high.
Yeah. What are we? Oh, Tex and Medivac. We need to sort out your spells. So there's two like understanding of them. So you have the spells that are in your memory to cast, but you also have your starting spells. Okay, so if you look on your class, it'll say starting spells. So a cleric begins with access to all clerical spells at rank 0. Okay. So rank 0 spells of their rank or less. The number of spells a cleric can memorize is off the table. So clerics are very much like clerics in D&D. You know the spells, and you just choose what you actually take. Okay, so you decide how much of which spells to commit to memory. Now, that is in your cleric table. So do you have 5 skills above 40%?
I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
professional ones. Yeah.
So what's your intelligence?
16.
Okay, then. Oh, that's nice. Well done. It's divided by 4. Really nice. So rank.
So 7.
So yeah. So you rank 0. You'll have 6 spells in your memory, won't you? And rank 1, you'll have 4 spells in your memory.
Okay.
And then your
where does it say that on the page?
top of page 26.
That's right. It's on 27, 26. All right, gotcha. Int divided by 4, and yeah. And then and those are your, so you can choose whatever, and your spell list is on page 28. It has all the spells across there. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Right, let me go on to the complicated magic user. Okay, then. So you also have starting spells text. Okay, so the mage begins with knowledge of the rank 0 cantrip read magic, as well as 2 cantrips. Okay, so you have knowledge. So let me finish that, because as well as 2 cantrips for every 1/10 of your arcane knowledge skill.
Rounded up or down?
We always round up. Yeah.
Okay.
If you qualify for rank 1, you also know 1 spell for every 1/10 of your arcane knowledge for rank 1. Okay. So you will know. So they are typically in your book. Okay, in your spell book, same as, I think that's the same as D&D, isn't it? Yeah. And then you can then memorize spells from that book. So what's your intelligence?
16.
Oh, 16. So you will have in your memory 5 rank 0 and 4 rank 1. Now you need to pick them from the spells that are in your book. Okay, so you'll decide the spells that are in your book, and then at the beginning of the adventure or after the first night rest, you'll memorize those spells. And then those are the spells that you can actually cast. And then your spells are on page 36. So it's interesting that looking at them, your rank 0 spells are like folk magic spells. And then rank 1 are sort of like more to do with, well, I think they'd like D&D, because floating disc and find familiar, etc., etc. Just to remind people, I know some people did it already. Captain's just done it as well. Medivac, you'll need to roll some coins to get some money.
I did that already.
Oh, brilliant. That's
I'm
good.
the richest person in the world now.
How many did you get?
1.
All right. I looked up and all I could see was 3,494. Then I thought, no, that's not. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, you just rolled 1.
1d4. Yeah.
See, that's because you give everything to
I'm
the
charitable.
poor. Yeah.
And it says on my on my moral code.
Yeah.
Charitable.
Nice. So a little bit more charitable than Bartleby.
Yes, because I've given everything away apart from 1 gold coin.
Yeah, and he tends to keep a lot.
Yeah.
So you won't be buying
Pay off his
anything.
children.
Yeah, you won't be buying anything else, won't you? Medivac.
No, maybe a lump of coal or something.
A small lump of coal, and then that would be it. Okay. So just to remind you, skills work exactly the same. So remember, 1 to 5 is always a success, and 96 to 100 is always a fail. And then remember that 99 or 100 is always a fumble. And if it's 1/10 of your skill, then that's your critical success as well. So there's no difference to it until, and I'm going to suggest something to you at this point, is until you get to the difficulty grade table. Okay. Now, I'm sure it says this. No, that 2 times over, but the first is the default. Oh, right. Yeah. So you do get the options of how to adjust your skills. So normally, it's on page 45. There's a table up at the top of page 45 that's got the difficulty grade, skill modifier, or simplified skill modifier. So we're actually using the skill modifier. That's what we use in Mithras in any case. So I thought it'd be easy just to stick with that. We know the character sheet sorts it out for us, and that's it. So we don't need to change anything like that. If you go down to the opposed rolls, etc., is all the same. And then if you go to combat, running combat, it starts on page 72. Basically, it's exactly the same. There are proactive actions like attack, brace, cast magic. I don't think we've ever used brace. No, actually, I think somebody did use brace in the Attack of the Harpies. I'm sure they did. But you'll notice down there, it's roughly the same. Do look on page 74. There is a skill called Hustle. Can you see it?
Oh, yes.
Provided that you are not engaged in an opponent, the character can move 3 times their movement rate or sprint up to 5 times. So this is where Destin gets quick movement from and things like that. So you can actually move normally, which is further down, but you can take an action to hustle if you wish. So that's the same as running or sprinting. Notice spellcasters, you also have the option to hold magic. Okay, so what this means is that you can cast a spell, be successful with it, but then elect to hold magic. So you can actually almost like power up a lightning bolt and hold it, and then hold it. And then you can either use it as a counter spell to something, or then just blast it. Okay.
In the book, they call it magical edging.
Is this rude?
No.
Everybody's
Why don't you
gone.
explain it.
Don't explain it.
Do I need to stop the stream? Do I need to mute?
No.
Notice that the actual skill roll to cast the hell spell, is not made until it's actually cast. So this is the same in Mithras as well. Okay, so you can actually choose to hold the spell and then use it as a counter spell.
But then you can't actually do anything apart from just hold that spell.
Correct.
Yeah.
The spell casting, by the way, is the same as in Mithras. So you actually have, if you want to, magic comes in later on. If you want to have a complete look at it, but on the top of page 88, by default, the following requirements are necessary for casting spells: the ability to gesture one free hand, make vocal sounds, and perceive what's going on. It also talks about the possession of generic spell material and components, and this is because some of the spells, especially higher up, have really expensive components for it to actually run. But apart from that, it's exactly the same. You cast your arcane casting or your divine channeling as your skill, and that actually does the same with critical successes. So that allows you to do it without magic points, etc. And you do not need an unarmed unarmed skill roll to touch people for touch spells at all. Clerics, you suffer no penalty while armored or using a shield to cast. Mages do. So go figure. I think there's just so many people nasty to mages. The other thing is the casting time. So an instant spell is just a proactive or reactive action as long as you got action points. One action spells is proactive only and goes off at the same turn as it's cast. So if you have a casting time of one action, then it goes off. Okay. Now, what you do have the option to, the normal casting time for all spells is one action. However, that's an intensity 1 spell. Okay. So intensity governs the effect of it. So if you wanted to cast it at intensity 2, then it's 1 turn for the first cast, but you're increasing the intensity by 1 point, so it now takes you 2 turns to cast it, and so it just increases as you go along. And we're not doing anything about things like when magic points drop to 0 or something like that. We're keeping that just like we normally play. On page 91, it starts going through all the spells and talks about range, etc. And then if anybody's going down the illusion roll, let me know, because I haven't read those spells. And then you just go on. So if you turn to page 96 for the armor, it says Mage 1 costs 3, so this will cost 3 magic points plus 1 per intensity. So if you increase it to intensity 4, it would cost you 7 magic points to actually cast. And then it gives you the changes in the spell. Caster sustains 8 points of damage from a single attack plus 1 per level of additional intensity. So it tells you what you need to do in there. So I would just concentrate on the spells that you're going to be using, and then know about those, and have a good knowledge of those. So when it comes to the game, you know roughly what it's going to do. Right. I think that's about it. Does the spell people, you might have a little bit more to read up just to make sure, but I'll be around before next week if you have any questions. Does anybody else have any other questions about character generation or anything like that that I will attempt to answer?
Just one clerical issue is
this something rude? Is this something rude?
No, I promise. This is actually a real thing. My HP doesn't match the table for for the book.
Okay, hang on.
It's stopping at 7, but my table based on my size and strength, some of them, like specifically my chest, should be at 9 HP.
Right, let me just have a look.
Readjust it.
Action points.
Table should be on page 9.
I was just looking at the character sheet to see whether or not I can adjust it. Okay, let's. What page is it on? Page 9. Did you say?
I guess 10 if you type it in, but 9.
And what's your constitution? Add your size.
Constitution and size together should be 31.
Mine's not right either because mine's 5's all the way down. It should be 5, 7, 6, 4, 5.
Yeah, mine's all 5s as well.
Yeah, I think the let me go into somebody's character sheet and see whether or not I can actually
readjust it. Because if I put anything on like mod or other, it just changes all of them.
So yeah, you can't change that right hand thing.
No, I'm just what I'm just looking at is the settings that I can go into and seeing whether or not there's anything. Mm-hmm. Right, so we need to. So what I would do with that is change the first one, if that makes sense.
If you click on the little cog, there's modifiers in there, which is why. So I've got a chest of 2. I've got -1 on my right arm, -1 on my left arm.
But if I touch anything in the modifiers, it changes all of them.
I wonder if that's because of.
Oh no! If you put, so I've just put modify. What's your leg? Oh yes, it does. It goes up. Oh, hang a minute. So why is that top one saying 9 now?
So I've got them all to 0 now, but I'm just changing 1. So if I go, chest is 7, so modify 2. See, it's changed them all to 2.
Hang on a minute. Let me. So what should your head be, Captain?
It should be 7.
7.
So that's accurate. The only ones that aren't accurate is the chest and abdomen.
And what should they be?
My chest should be 9 and my abdomen should be 8.
So if you put 2 in, the only one that it changes is your right leg.
But it changes. If I put a 2 in modifier or other.
So does that mean I have to play my leg with gout or something?
Yeah.
It doesn't actually change all the others. It only ever just changes the the right
The best
leg.
case scenario, maybe I just keep a mental note as like add 2 to the.
What I would do, you know, the first one. Can you see there? I just put 9 in your chest and abdomen.
Yeah.
That's what I would do, and I'll let the person, because you'll always decrease that. And can you see? You can put in notes or something just to remind you something that it's up there. That's interesting, actually, because I don't see whereabouts I can actually change it, if I can change it at all.
Then this is, I guess, the second time I've had a character of the shield, but I haven't really played with this. I'm assuming the one next to AP looks like a shield on the hit locations area. Is that where I put which arm has the shield on it?
So what kind of shield is it?
It's a round shield. So
how many items, how many areas can it passive block?
I have to hold on, let me go to equipment really quick. It can block 4 locations.
4 locations. So on that shield bit, you put like an X, like that, for the 4 locations that it blocks. So if things passive block, then what happens is that you can parry with your shield if you wish. Okay, you can do that no matter what. But what the other thing is that you can opt not to parry and trust your shield. So if I came up and hit you and you said, no, I'm not going to parry, and I rolled the hit location and it's your chest, and that's passively blocked, you just block the attack. Without a damage roll. So people often do what you're doing there, sort of like protect their head. Just out of interest, you can do that with any weapon as well. So people who are dual wielding can actually attack and use the other one as a defensive. It's a risk. But it means if you're, say for example, if you're out of actions, then and I hit your head, you will automatically parry it with your shield no matter what.
Which might happen because we only got 2 action points currently.
Yeah. And
I might be out of.
Yeah. So it is really positive. So so adjust your hit points however you want from that table, and then you've got it. And I will report that. Because it goes up really high, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the benefit, like, of putting points in your strength and con.
Yeah, being big and chunky.
Yeah.
Not your strength. Do you have a nice strength bonus as well?
It's 1d6.
Oh, that's nice as well.
Yeah.
That's good. Right. Any other questions from anyone? Remember, your movement goes according to your race. So if it's not there already, make sure you check. Make sure you've made a note of it. So because it's not the same for everyone, it will actually change.
I was going to say, I think mine was 20, but
yeah, I don't think the sheet. I think the sheet is. What I think is that the sheet's actually doing it via Mithras.
Squares?
Yeah, I thought Mithras as well.
Yeah. So what I would do, can you see it? Probably mine one says 6 because it's just organizing it from. Actually, is that of interest? So, you know the little cog up at the top next to attributes? If you press that little cog, it'll open it all up, and then it says standard species. And if you change the number in there, it will change your movement.
Oh,
And then that'll be it. That's everything seems to be fine there. I just wondered whether or not there was anything in hit location that I can do, but I can't.
movement 20 feet.
Yeah.
That's quite fast.
You little
Yeah, that's like me.
it is. Right. I'm going to have a look and see whether or not I can change those. But you know where you can find it in any case, and then that's it. Okay. So just before we'll finish a little bit early tonight, I don't think it's enough time to start the adventure, but I just want to give you a bit of a heads up what's going to be happening. So what I've created is almost like a standalone adventure. So please, when I say you're going to do something, please do it. Okay, because otherwise it'll be a very, very short adventure. Very short. I'll have a look at your characters in between, not to check them or anything. It's just that I do the same with Mithras and M-Space, etc. I like to have a list of your skills, so I can.
So you know how to break us.
Yeah, so I know how, so I can say, why don't you use this skill? So, and then casters, if you get your magic sorted. So remember, you'll have spells that are in your spell book, but spells that you'll memorize. So then you'll have spells that you'll just memorized as your cleric because you know them all. Then that's it. Brilliant. Anything else that is Mr. Pickles there? Still there?
Yes.
All right. You're always so quiet. I never know whether or not you've gone or not. So brilliant. So yeah, so you'll start off in a tavern next week. I'm assuming that you know each other. Okay. So you've been working together as a foursome. But what I would like you to do in your character introduction is give your name, class, and race, but then tell me something about, tell the stream and me something about your character. Tell me how they react, link it to your alignments or things like that, just so the other players have an idea of. Imagine that you've been working together for a month. What would they know about you? How you fight, how you react, So a classic one for you, Medivac, may be that, you give away the wealth or something like that, that they, that is something that everybody will already know about
Mr.
you.
Pickles steals it back again.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. I was just looking where it said armor down below, whether or not you could put something in there as well if you needed. Brilliant.
Will I be all right to work on my spells tomorrow?
Yeah, I will not
I just want to read through what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I will not look at anything probably till next Thursday or Friday. I've done the adventure is nearly done. But I'll probably finish that off tomorrow. Then I don't finish it completely. I let it roll, and then that's it. Brilliant. Everybody's got a token now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Captain, do you have a? Yeah, you do. So let me.
I might change it here and there. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out where. I'm trying to figure out an interesting name that I feel comfortable with.
Right. Well, you can. Do you have an axe?
No, but my character's very. That's because I don't want. It doesn't give me the option. But my character's very much into axes. That's what his craft is. So
nice. So
we'll just imagine maybe his axe broke.
Yeah. Okay. That's It's a good starting point in any case, and that everybody's nice colors as well, which is good. So, and then that's it. Oh, the other thing is, I will set up your night vision, your dark vision automatically with your token. So wherever that token appears, you will automatically get that night vision. Or dark vision it's called, isn't it, automatically set up, so that'll all be done for you. So if you do go into a dark area, I think Gnome and Harthorpe, you've got dark vision, so you'll naturally see it. And just to let you know, I'll tint it, so if it says, you know, you see in shades of grey, then I'll put a grey tint on it, so when you actually see everything, it'll be a grey colour, then that'll be it.
There's
Brilliant.
definitely a high pitched noise every now and again when you talk. It's like your mic is bouncing off something metallic.
Oh, got you. It might just be this crappy mic above my head.
Right.
So it might
just
just
when you enunciate, you conjugate.
yeah.
So you know, yeah.
Because I talk properly.
Properly. The rain in Spain falls mainly
on the plane. Excellent.
On the plane.
Move your plummet ass.
Humans, just out of interest, start with 1 extra luck point as well. I don't know if you knew that. All humans.
Actually, looking at it, I was doing the math. Like humans, their characteristics are like way lower than ours, or at least mine specifically. If you
yeah.
to get, because I know they get a +10 to kind of decide where to place them. We only get +6, but our starting characteristics on average are much higher than humans, so they can get that +1 if they want.
Yeah,
Losers.
You just wait till you've got no luck points back left as a fighter. Can somebody just remind me of that when it?
we always have luck points left because you don't use them till the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm always spamming my luck points. I feel like,
yeah, you do.
Well, one of these days I'm going to just say, and your luck points will carry over to next week's adventure. And I never know why it's per session.
Well, it's strange because Cyberpunk Red, that's exactly the same system.
Is it?
With the luck points? It get refreshed every session.
It's interesting that as you go up ranks in this game, you get more luck. So
experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you're rank 4, you will get like 3 more luck points. You know, to your normal. So I figure you're going to have loads. You know, by rank 8, you're going to have like 10 luck points.
We have our monthly heroic points as well.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So and in this game, fighters are not allowed to use luck points. By the way, just so you know.
Yeah,
go to page 96.
Yeah.
Get that combat style up to like 105.
Yeah,
possible.
Do you have a combat? What is your combat style?
It's just fighter.
No, what percentage is it?
Oh, right now it's 60.
Oh, that's all right.
It's the +5 if I use a great axe, but
ooh,
so that's what I'm gonna make my specialization.
Because the bandit here has a combat skill of 56, so that's a rank 1 monster to give you that idea of that. And it has, does D&D 5th edition have challenge levels? That what D&D 5th? Yeah. So this one has the same in the sense that a party of 6 rank 1s should be able to kill 6 monsters rank 1 at the same time. They should, you know, that's it. Or 3 rank 2s or single rank 6.
Yeah, because you're effectively your NPC rank 1 is exactly the same as our rank 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, whereas before the mobs we've fought in Mithras or in whichever have been a lot lower.
Yeah, well, they don't change at all, you know. So So you'll all be rank 1s, won't you? So it'll be 4 rank 1s. So you should be able to kill a rank 4 creature because you're all working together.
Mm.
You know, or 2 rank 2 creatures. That's how it should work. But in Mithras, there's none of that.
There's no ranking. It's just literally skill against skill.
Yeah. So a hill giant is rank 5. So you are very close to be working together to be able to kill a hill giant. Now I have to say,
You killed a Zuk-Tuk.
yeah, with a club doing 1d12 plus 1d12 damage.
Damn.
I think, you know, it depends how quick the rest of you can kill it as you push the fighter into combat.
You'll never get your farm if you don't fight this.
You'll never become a shopkeeper if you do this, that, and the other. Brilliant. So next week we will start with the adventure. I'm going to make a new overlay and put your names of your characters, etc. on it, and then we'll go straight from there. If there's any questions that you've got between now and then just let me know. If not, we'll start next time we meet right from the beginning, and we'll get straight into that and you can introduce yourselves. Okay, brilliant. Remember, if anybody's watching, remember that the rules are completely and utterly free for Classic Fantasy Imperative. So it just has 4 classes, but all the races in it. So if you're interested in starting out with Mithras or Classic Fantasy, then this is the perfect opportunity. Just to also to let you know that Mithras itself has an imperative rule book, and that also it will be free eventually, or it's free for the download now. I think you can do that. So, so do think, oh, you know, if you want to have a go at Mithras, there's the option of going out and diving straight into it. And if you're moving from D&D to Mithras, then Classic Fantasy is a wonderful game that bridges that transformation. So consider it. We'll be back next week. Medivac, do you want to talk about your streams?
Certainly. We've had a couple of weeks off Warhammer due to illness and work commitments, but we're back on Thursday at 7:30. That's Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And we've just started Cyberpunk Red. We created characters last Monday, and we are starting the campaign this Monday at 7:30.
Sounds fantastic.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, all on your channel is?
Yes, Medivac the Healing Hoover.
Medivac the Healing. Nice and short and catchy.
Nice and short, yeah.
Mr. Pickles.
Yes, as my friends very well know, I have a podcast. It's called And I Took That Personally on Apple and Spotify podcasts. It's just my friend and I, Brad. We talk about movies. We make a few laughs, and we've been struggling to get a new episode out, but we're going to get something out by the end of this month. Nice. Or die trying.
Nice.
Don't die.
And if you are listening to the podcast, please do go over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review, because even if it's a stars, because that really helps the reach of the podcast and it become available to more and more people. Tickety Tex, how's your streaming coming along?
I haven't streamed in a while. I don't really have anything I want to stream right now. But I guess keep you posted if I decide to.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And the moment that I dread. Captain Kangaroo, is there anything that you would like to say?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to Vegas tonight. I'll be live streaming an Ocean's 11-esque attempt at a heist. But the thing is similar to most D&D groups. Everyone with the last minute cancel, and I'll probably end up being stuck in one of the vaults. But it'll be fun. And I'll make sure to do lots of flashbacks to when we were actually doing to get the money that you guys didn't notice in the first time. So
nice.
Things like that.
What's your channel? What's your channel so people can?
What's the channel? It's Oceans 9. We're except it's
Nine
just
and a half. Ocean nine.
it's,
and a
it's just
half.
it's just me and 8 different wigs.
Fantastic. That would be really worth watching. I
But-
was just looking at the ogre, and the ogre in this game has a passion called bad mannered and quick to anger at 48%. What a brilliant passion that would be. Okay, we will see you next time as the characters will burst into action and we'll get some dice rolling done. Until then, look after yourself, everyone. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you all next time. See you all later. Say goodbye, people.
Say goodbye, people.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye, people. Bye, 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 people.
Bye.